North Carolina will head to the polls this week to vote on a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage. North Carolina already has a state statute banning gay marriage, and it doesn't recognize gay marriages from other states. So what's this all about? Here, fair and balanced debate. Brian Brown, president of the National Organization for Marriage, and Mark Solomon. He is the national campaign director of Freedom to Marry. Gentlemen, thank you both for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Brian, I'll start with you. There's already a state statute. Why does North Carolina need a constitutional amendment?
Well, as we saw in Iowa, it doesn't matter if a state is conservative or not, whether the people support marriage as the union of a man and a woman. If unelected judges decide that they're going to overturn the statute, they've done that. That's what they did in Iowa. They've done this in other states. So it's absolutely necessary that the people of North Carolina have the chance to vote so that judges don't force a redefinition of marriage upon them.
And Mark, what are your concerns with this particular amendment? I mean, isn't it about letting the people of each individual state decide?
Look, there are two fundamental concerns. Number one is that putting this in the Constitution sort of stops a conversation that the people of North Carolina are having about why marriage matters to gay and lesbian couples. But, also, and super importantly, this amendment isn't just about marriage. This amendment takes away civil unions. It takes away domestic partnerships. It takes away the right for kids of lesbian moms to have health coverage. And I don't know what golden rule everyone else is taught, but the golden rule that I was taught is you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. So this is one of the most draconian amendments that our opponents have ever tried to foist on a state.
Brian, does it go too far?
No, not at all. These are all scare tactics because those that want to redefine marriage in North Carolina realize that they've lost the marriage debate. The people of North Carolina overwhelmingly support marriage as the union of a man and a woman. So they're throwing out absolute scare tactics. They've thrown out the idea that somehow domestic violence won't be prosecuted. 30 law enforcement officials, including judges and district attorneys, have said that that is just an out-and-out lie, as have lawyers. The same is true with the health benefits. 17 states have marriage amendments that protect marriage from attempts to redefine it in other ways that include civil unions or domestic partnerships. And what Mark's claiming simply is not true.
Brian, does this take away, can I just ask, does this take away domestic partnerships and civil unions or not?
Well, yes, it does. This is an amendment that makes clear that marriage is the union of a man and a woman. It's the only domestic legal union. But the attempt to say that somehow people are going to be robbed of health care or robbed of the ability to prosecute domestic violence, that's just absurd.
Mark, I want to ask you about this. Former President Bill Clinton has recorded some robocalls that are going out to voters on this issue. So it sounds like this is something, while it's centered in North Carolina on Tuesday, there's really more of a national focus on what's happening there in the state.
Well, sure. I mean, people see that there are conversations happening all over the country. The country is moving. The country is on a journey on this cause. We saw this morning even the vice president talked about his own journey in coming around to support the freedom to marry. So the country's on a journey, and people don't want to see that journey sort of stopped with a constitutional amendment, especially one that goes and takes away the right for civil unions, the right for domestic partnership benefits, really one of the most draconian amendments that Brian Brown has tried to foist on this on a state in this country.
And on the screen right now, you're seeing a very recent poll. How do North Carolina voters plan to vote on this amendment? 55% say yes, they'll vote for this amendment, which bans gay marriage and other partnerships. 41% say they will vote no. President Obama, Brian, has called this divisive and discriminatory. How do you respond?
Oh, well, it's not divisive and discriminatory. Again, the fact is the overwhelming majority of North Carolinians know that marriage is the union of a man and a woman, and President Obama himself still says he believes marriage is the union of a man and a woman. So I think it's a bit over the top to claim that somehow this is draconian, or some of the language that we've heard that it's bigotry to believe that marriage is the union of a man and a woman. There's a little grandmother in North Carolina, African-American woman who actually was denied sitting at the lunch counter. And she's looking up and saying, how can folks say that it's bigotry for me to go out and vote that I believe marriage is the union of a man and a woman? That's just wrong. And the attempt to paint those of us, the majority of this country, that believe that there's something unique and special about men and women coming together in marriage as bigots has failed, and we're seeing it fail in North Carolina. There's very strong support for the amendment, and I expect the amendment to pass, and I think that's going to send a strong message to the 4 other states that are going to have marriage amendments on the ballot in November.
All right, Mark and Brian, it's a very important debate. We thank you both for weighing in. We appreciate your time very much, and we'll watch to see what happens in North Carolina and beyond. Thank you both.
Thank you very much for having us.